to talk about starting our day now. The fact of the matter is you will be judged on the doors within the first second that customer opens. And so it's very important that we get some certain things in place that's going to work for our advantage. The first thing we're going to talk about is appearance. Your appearance is probably one of the most important things that you could do. It's important to dress cleanly. Make sure that your shoes look clean, good running shoes, tied tight. We wear, when weather permits, khaki cargo shorts with your gray polo tucked in with a nice belt. Clean shaven is always very important. If you're wearing any kind of jewelry, you want to remove your jewelry. Clean cut hair, well styled. You want to look like the grandson or the grandchild that your grandma thinks that her grandchild is. You got to remember, these people, a lot of them are elderly. They have, old values, and you want to reflect an honest, upstanding individual that's going to take care of them. And so you just need to remember that you will be judged once again within the first couple seconds of that door opening, and you need everything as far as the odds go on your side. The second thing that we need to talk about is just planning. It's very important to plan your day in advance. Over the years that I've been doing this, and once again the hundreds of sales reps that I've trained, I see a pattern of successful individuals. People that are successful take their job seriously. They don't wake up in the morning, roll out of bed, and then figure out who they're going out with, where they're going. There are resources that are available to us to make sure that you guys can plan this stuff in advance. Where are you guys going to be selling? What's a fallback if something doesn't work out as you planned? All these things are very important that you guys need to do in advance. That's going to make sure that your day runs smoothly. You're going to maximize your time on the door. Because at the end of the day, that's our biggest asset is time. Okay, sun rises, the sun sets. The more time that we could spend on the doors in the correct spot is going to maximize our sales. So we just need to make sure that we have this stuff done. Your clothes are wrinkle-free, laid out, ready to go, so we can just get out there and get the job done. Choosing area is also very important. So you just don't want to be out there knocking doors just at random. We've been doing this for a long time. We know what works, what doesn't. And we need to use this information available to make your day the most productive as possible. So the first thing that I want to talk about is what's called the economic scale. And while I don't really like profiling people per se, and this isn't always the case, for the most part this does hold true. So you just need to look at this economic scale, and at the very top of this economic scale, just imagine the most wealthy neighborhood that you could think of. So, the biggest mansion, the most exclusive neighborhood. And on the bottom of the scale, it could be just the ghetto, just the worst area that you could possibly think of on the other end of the spectrum. Okay? At the very top of this economic scale, the one thing that's going to hold true is everyone can afford it. Okay? Anyone that wants to get DirecTV is going to be able to pass credit. They're going to be able to afford that monthly bill. That's not going to be an issue. But while everyone can afford it, you're going to find that everyone's not going to want it. And it's going to be for several reasons. Number one is in order to finance that big expensive house, for the most part, both spouses work. Okay? They're not going to be home. They're going to have huge yards. They're going to have security and gates. And in order to go to their house and knock on their door, they're not going to be receptive to a door-to-door customer service rep or a door-to-door solicitor trying to prompt them into what services that they want. Okay? As you move down to the very bottom of that economic scale, what we talked about before, you're going to find that you're going to have customers where everyone's going to want it, but no one's going to be able to afford it. You have to remember once again that DirecTV has credit criteria in place to prevent high-risk customers from getting the service. So in these lower-class neighborhoods, you're going to find people are home. They're all home. They're going to want to watch the service. They're going to want to buy it. They fill out every single credit card application that comes into the mail. Every single offer they jump on. In a lot of cases, that's kind of why the situation is going to present itself where they're not going to be able to get it based on the credit criteria. So where we're successful is not at the top, where everyone can afford it and no one wants it, and not at the bottom where everyone wants it and no one can get it, but somewhere right in the middle. We sell to middle to lower middle class. Okay, these people generally are home during the day, at least one spouse at some point. It could be a small rural community. It could be a retirement center, a mobile home park, senior retirement. It could be a lower middle class neighborhood. And you're going to find these people are generally kind. They're home, they're interested in saving money, they enjoy their television experience, and they're going to be very receptive to someone coming in the door helping them out. Let me fix these problems for you. We want to make sure you guys are taken care of, and we want to save you this money off your bill. So just remember that as you're driving around and selecting an area, it's not about the most luxury neighborhood or the worst neighborhood that you could find. It's about finding that middle to lower middle class. Obviously, as the day progresses, your neighborhoods can change. In the morning, I like to focus my interest in retirement communities. The senior citizens generally are home in the mornings. They don't work. They're available in the mid-hours of the day where I could be productive. As the day progresses into the late afternoon and evening hours, you want to shift your attention to the households. People start getting home from work. And you can move up into those neighborhoods where it wouldn't be productive in the mid-hours and morning hours of the day. The weekends are excellent time to move up into even a higher level of income where people are home Saturdays, mowing the lawn, doing yard work. It's ways to access customers who will appreciate the service and appreciate what we're doing, but normally won't be available during the mid-hours of the day during the week. So just remembering those basic things, you can maximize your time and be productive with the hours of daylight that we have. Okay? The second thing I want to talk to you about is the resources that we have available. We've gone through a large extent to make sure that we have resources that you guys can maximize your time and know what you're getting into before you get there. In your office, you're going to find a map on the wall. This map is going to show the whole state to which you're currently marketing, and it's going to tell you who the cable provider is in every single city, where areas are where there's no cable provider or a non-franchised area. In these areas, you're going to find that there is no cable service, so people resort to satellite. And they resorted to satellite years ago, meaning we have old systems and old customers just waiting for upgrades. Google Maps is also an excellent idea. You could actually look at a town before you get there and satellite view the area to see what you're getting into. How big is that mobile home community? How spread out is that small town? Check the population on the internet. Is this town big enough to accommodate 2 sales reps, 3, 4? Don't load a truckload of guys into an area that's only going to accommodate 2 people for half a day. Know your facts before you get out there. Okay? We also have an online directory of mobile home communities. Mobile home communities represent a great area where people live close together. They're generally home during the day and they appreciate a savings. These are great areas to hit early on in the day. There's a directory on your local website that American Side provides for each office that will show you guys exactly what mobile home communities are in your area so you guys can hit these things off one by one. Lastly, you want to remember what works. If I go to an area and it works and I have a successful day, why did I have a successful day? What is the population? What is the income class? What was the cable company? Why was it successful? And utilizing the resources we give, you could replicate that successful day. It's not just throwing a dart at the map or running in the dark. You guys can use these resources to make sure you could replicate what you like. Okay, we have sales reps that love country roads. Down these rural country roads, there is no cable. They have to have satellite or an antenna to get their TV service. We have sales reps that do nothing but drive house to house. They see the cars home in the driveway, and they are doing upgrades to existing satellite customers in order to get that sale. And that's what they enjoy. Replicate that if that's what you like. If you like urban, city-type selling, don't change it up. Replicate it. Why did it work? Where are other areas that fit the same mold? You're going to find very quickly that areas are the same. People are the same. Income brackets are the same. And basically, if the cable's not doing good in one area,